We've got the Subaru Forester and the Mazda CX-5 in our comparison this week.
I'll translate for Americans. That's a Mazda CX-5. Let's get into it. The Forester comes with a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine and a CVT with 184 horsepower and 176 pound-feet of torque and standard all-wheel drive.
The Mazda CX-5 has two engine options. The base engine is a 2.5-liter four-cylinder with a 6-speed automatic transmission, 187 horsepower, and 186 pound-feet of torque. There's a turbo option, a turbocharged 2.5-liter four-cylinder with 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque on regular fuel. If you use premium, you'll get more power, 256 horsepower, and 320 pound-feet of torque. For 2022, all CX-5s come with standard all-wheel drive.
The Forester really shines off-road, and when you get into more challenging winter driving conditions, with 8.7 inches of ground clearance and X-mode drive settings, which includes trail capability and hill descent control. The all-wheel drive system is excellent, giving you the confidence in harsher winter conditions. When accelerating quickly on the highway, you do feel a slight lag because of the continuously variable transmission, and the engine does get a little bit louder. Unfortunately, Subaru no longer offers a turbocharged engine. However, they do in the Outback and Ascent models. EyeSight driver assist technology gets some new features for 2022, included upgraded camera sensors offering a broader view and a new automatic emergency steering system. Also for 2022 is a new wilderness trim. It gets an extra half-inch of ground clearance compared to the other models to help with harsher terrain. It also has improved gear ratios for off-road performance, a retuned suspension, a front view camera, improved dual-function X mode, and more towing capacity at 3,000 pounds.
The CX-5 offers a sporty drive with precise steering and composed cornering. The turbo engine is powerful, responsive, and offers agile handling. A perfect combination, and that's a tough one to beat in this category. The standard iActive all-wheel drive system is engineered to anticipate a loss of traction by monitoring all driving conditions and vehicle operations 200 times per second. G-Vectoring Control Plus improves traction and handling for a smoother, more confident driving experience.
So you really have to ask yourself, what are your priorities if you're choosing a compact utility vehicle? If your priority is the best traction, better ground clearance, and those sorts of things, then the Subaru is probably going to be your choice. However, if you like driving dynamics, which one's going to win?
Yeah, the CX-5, much more entertaining and more agile. That turbo engine is terrific. So you're right, Zach. I mean, they really are very different. I think that the Subaru is almost more practical. It does offer that higher ground clearance. And now with the wilderness model, that's pretty great.
Before we move on to the next category, and you're going to see differences for sure when we go through this, all Subaru models have 220 millimeters of ground clearance, whether you get a Crosstrek or an Ascent. But the good news is we mentioned the Outback and the Ascent do get the turbo engine. So if you're kind of thinking this might not have enough power, look at those two vehicles.
The Forester gets a refresh for 2022 with a bold new look. It gets a redesigned front fascia, grille, headlights, and fog light covers. It comes standard with LED headlights and LED taillights, power adjustable, foldable, and heated door mirrors, EyeSight driver assist technology, 17-inch wheels, available 18-inch. The new Wilderness trim comes with unique front and rear bumpers, matte black finish, exterior body cladding, rear differential skid plates, off-road wheels, Yokohama Geolandar tires, and a full-size spare tire. It also has a strengthened roof rack that can hold 800 pounds. So if you're interested in putting a tent on top, you can without a problem.
The CX-5 is also refreshed for 2022. However, it is really quite minor. You get a new grille with a three-dimensional mesh texture and reshaped headlamps. The CX-5 comes standard with 17-inch wheels and LED headlamps. If you go one up from the base model in Canada, that's where you get the power tailgate. And you can add a package for $2,100 to get 19-inch wheels, a moonroof, and rear passenger vents. In the United States, the power tailgate and moonroof are available 2 up from the base model. There's a new sport design trim for 2022 if you want a sportier look with red grille accents and 19-inch wheels.
So not a lot of changes for the CX-5 for 2022. I think some were hoping it would come with a panoramic sunroof, but we still get a moonroof. We're going to have to wait for that CX-50 for that. Some think that the Forester doesn't have the most attractive exterior design.
They're practical, Andrea. They're practical. They're like sensible shoes.
Yes, for sure. But I think this new refresh looks a little bit better than the outgoing model, in my opinion. Of course, the CX-5 has got a sporty, modern look that just never looks dated.
Yeah, it looks good and looks class above, in fact, I think, compared to many others.
Here's our used car alternative from CanadaDrives.ca. We chose a 2019 Mazda CX-5 GX with just over 49,000 kilometers for 31,990 Canadian. Click on the tab or the link in the description below to find more vehicles in this category from CanadaDrives.ca.
Every week we do this comparison twice. You're watching it on YouTube, but the day before it drops on Instagram. We collect some of your comments and read them out.
Wow, these two are the only ones that I have test driven when shopped around. Eventually, I chose the CX-5.
For a daily driver, I own a Forester. If I want to take it off-road, I might have to go with the CX-5 due to it having a true automatic transmission that won't cut power to the wheels if it's in a sticky situation. That's also why my Forester is a 2018. The last year it had a manual transmission, so I can take it anywhere I want to.
I wouldn't even look at the Forester if the CX-5 GT had a panoramic sunroof, and now I'm just patiently waiting for the CX-50.
The CX-5 seems to check all the boxes for me, particularly the more premium interior, although neither car is leading the segment in terms of technology offerings. I'm also not a fan of CVTs.
The Forester has an open and spacious cabin with large doors, making it convenient to get car seats, kids, and dogs in and out of the vehicle. For 2022, Subaru offers a new optional gesture climate control system, allowing the driver to raise and lower the temperature through hand gestures. We found this to be a bit gimmicky and didn't always work for us. So what you do is you put your hand up.
Oh,
there it is.
Beeped, yeah.
And what it does is it raises the temperature up 2 degrees.
Celsius, yeah.
Yes. Now, if you want to bring the temperature down by 2 degrees, you go like this. Now, this is the one that we can't get working. So every time that we go like this, we keep raising our temperature, but we can't bring it down.
Let me try. Fight the power.
Oh,
it went down.
Oh my gosh, you did it.
Wait, let me try it again. Fight the power. Oh,
you got it. The Forester comes standard with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 6.5-inch touchscreen, heated manual driver and passenger seats, and cloth upholstery. 2 up from the base model in Canada offers a lot of value with an 8-inch touchscreen, a power liftgate, heated steering wheel, and sunroof. In the US, the panoramic sunroof is standard, 1 up from the base model. The top trims come with features like heated rear seats, a 9-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, leather upholstery, driver's seat memory, power passenger seats, and navigation. The new Wilderness trim comes with all-weather, soft-touch water repellent upholstery.
The CX-5 interior really is class above compared to its competition, with a sophisticated interior and a touch of elegance. The top trim comes with beautiful soft Nappa leather in brown with Abachi wood trim, creating an upscale interior that can easily compete with luxury brands. With improved technology, the standard 10.25 center display with Mazda Connect is intuitive to use and faster than the outgoing model. Mazda focused on creating a quieter cabin by significantly reducing the noise level of tires and wind, especially on the highway. Some standard features include manual driver and passenger seats, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, push-button start, and heated cloth front seats. If you go 1 up from the base model in Canada, that's where you get the power liftgate, leatherette trimmed upholstery, a power driver's seat, heated steering wheel, and 6-speaker audio system. The Kuro trim and above is where you'll find driver's seat memory and power passenger seat, leather trimmed upholstery, and a 7-inch LCD display. The top trims all have extra features like ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, wireless charger, Bose sound system. Mazda has improved the comfort level of their seats on this year's model. There were many complaints that the seats were uncomfortable for long trips.
One thing to point out is the Forester has a standard 6.5-inch touchscreen, a little bit small. There is an available 8-inch, but this Mazda comes with a 10.25-inch display screen. No touchscreen though.
Yeah, you have to use the control wheel in the center, which I prefer because I don't like fingerprints all over the screen. I don't have to reach for it. It's right here.
Yeah.
And I like the little volume knob there as well. Now, one thing I will say in the Forester's defense is that it has a lot of soft materials on the interior, surprising for a mainline car like this. So yes, the CX-5 has a more flashy look, maybe more upscale, but the fit and finish and the materials used in the Forester, in my opinion, are very, very good.
Well, we were really surprised. We had the top premier trim here in Canada, and it comes with this beautiful brown leather. And I think that color combo with the exterior green and that, it looks amazing.
Now, our next category coming up is space, but we're going to touch on some of the features that are not mentioned in that, like the legroom. We're going to go through that in just a second.
Yeah.
It's the ability to get in and out, and the outward visibility of the Forester is unparalleled. It has huge doors, it's got massive windows, it's got the big panoramic roof. You feel like you're in a fishbowl. You can see everything outside. So we get a lot of people asking, what's the best vehicle for outward visibility? Hands down, Forester.
One thing the Forester doesn't come with is ventilated front seats. The Mazda does get that. I don't know if that's important to you. Zach and I never use ours in our SUV, but I know if you live in a hot climate, that's something that a lot of people are looking for.
We mentioned space. Let's get into it.
The Forester is over 3.5 inches longer than the CX-5 and offers over 2 inches more front legroom. They have about the same second row legroom though. The CX-5 offers more cargo space behind the second row at 30.9 cubic feet compared to the Forester at 26.9 cubic feet. Overall cargo capacity winner is the Forester, offering an extra 9.5 cubic feet.
Let's start with pricing, and let's start with the Forester. Remember, all of the Foresters come with standard all-wheel drive, and it starts at just $29,500 in Canada, just over $25,000 in the United States. The top trim in Canada is $40,500, but just over $35,000 in the US. J.D. Power has not rated the 2022 Forester, but gives the 21 model a quality and reliability score of 81 out of 100. CarEdge states the Forester will retain 59% of its value after 5 years. Fuel economy is rated at 9 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 7.2 on the highway. That's 26 miles per gallon city, 33 miles per gallon highway. Towing capacity is just 1,500 pounds, but if you get the Wilderness model, it can tow 3,000 pounds. The warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles.
Here's the pricing for the 2022 CX-5 standard all-wheel drive now. The base model starts at just over $30,500 Canadian, and the sport trim in the US is just under $26,000. The first turbo engine starts at just under $43,000 in Canada and $36,500 in the US. J.D. Power gives the 2021 Mazda CX-5 an impressive overall score of 82 out of 100 and a quality and reliability score of 81 out of 100. CarEdge states the CX-5 will retain 55% of its value after 5 years. The non-turbo engine gets 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 7.9 on the highway. That's 24 miles per gallon city, 30 miles per gallon highway. The CX-5 can tow 2,000 pounds, and Mazda offers a warranty of 3 years with unlimited kilometers in Canada and 3 years or 36,000 miles in the US.
So the Forester is more capable and it's more fuel efficient. I'm not sure if you paid attention to the fuel economy numbers there, and that's largely because it uses a continuously variable transmission. But even with a CVT, it can tow more, and I would argue it's going to be more capable off-road, especially if you get that latest Wilderness model. But it doesn't have what the Mazda has, and that is an available turbo engine.
Yeah, and an automatic transmission,
Yeah.
which some are looking for. I find that the CX-5 is more entertaining to drive. It's engaging, it's sporty, but for practicality and that really open space in the cabin and the extra ground clearance for those harsh winters that we do experience in Canada, I think the Forester is a real winner.
We had the Forester just a few weeks ago, and we had a rare big dump of snow here in
Yeah.
Vancouver. Typically, we get rain and not snow. There's quite a lot of snow, and we had two press cars. Both of them had winter tires on them. You know which car we drove the most in the snow?
The
Forester.
Yeah, it was so good. A lot of followers will ask me, what about the all-wheel drive system in the Mazda versus the Forester? Is one better than the other? I was saying to Zach this morning, they're both very good, but in the end, a great set of winter tires is going to do the trick for everybody.
Another thing to think about is I think that Subaru has really priced the Forester well. It's basically a $10,000 difference in Canada anyway between the base model and the top trim. Not the case over at Mazda. Their turbo is a couple of $1,000s more than the top trim of the Forester. So
Yeah.
you have to ask yourself, are you willing to pay that premium to get a more premium experience?
Well, also the 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine of the Mazda and the Forester are pretty equivalent in pricing. But I think for just a little bit extra to get that turbo engine in the CX-5 is a real winner. I mean, I would consider it.
Okay, you have to really do a gut check here. Are you somebody that is motivated by driving dynamics and you're kind of an enthusiast? Well, it's a no-brainer. You're going to get the CX-5. If, however, you're somebody that is practical and you're all about sensible transportation at a good price and good fuel economy and is going to do the job every day, that's the Forester. It's easy.
And I also think for tall people, that extra legroom in the front row of the Forester will make a big difference for some people in that extra headroom.
All right, so we want to know what you think. Please type below. We love
Yeah.
hearing and reading all your comments. We read them all.
We do.
And if you want to get a comment in for a future comparison, you need to follow Andrea's Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea. What else do they have to do?
You got to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop. We put out a lot of content each week.
All right, and when we see them next.
We'll see you next week.